still have to step away, or?
Let me just put my head in. I think Nick was crying or something. I thought I heard his voice. Nope. Must have just been my imagination. We're good to go.
All right, you sure?
Yep.
Okay. Let's just test audio levels real quick. Say test 1 2 3.
Test 1 2 3.
Okay, let's do it again. Test 1 2 3.
Test 4 5 6.
Why are you so quiet? Hold on.
Is this better? And maybe the mic was a little
Okay,
bit far from my face.
test 1 2 3.
Test 1 2 3.
Yeah, for some reason your levels don't quite come up to mine, but oh well. Let me try and equalize them at
Could it be
least.
that you turned them down from like one of the times that I called in on my phone?
No, I already checked Discord. I have you turned up to 150% actually. So opposite.
Gotcha.
All right. Welcome everybody to another episode of With Disadvantage. I'm your host and DM, Chev, and today is episode 13.4 of Solstice campaign. You'll notice, again, as with the last couple of these sessions, I am still suffering from a cold. I feel better, but my voice is not recovered, and I'm doing my best to mute while I blow my nose and cough. If I miss one, I apologize. All right, so we're going to start you off in the ancient chamber. There you go. You should see it in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
By the way, hello, everybody. This is PJ.
Oh, yes, I forgot to see. My brain's not working today. This is Audavon, played by PJ. That's the fourth session we're doing now. And for some reason, your token is missing from this area. So I'm going to put it back here. There we go.
Oh, I found it.
Uh-huh. Okay, and then I don't know what happened to my Piratesh token. Hold on. Data. Alright, this is being slow. Why are you being slow? Come on, we're already 45 minutes over. Stupid thing. And of course Piratesh isn't in here. Oh, there she is. Okay. Alright. Alright, so you've walked into this room. You just got called in there by one of your buddies, one of your fellow spies, basically, and he notified you that your plan is going south because everyone was drawn into this chamber instead of to the posted assignments that you gave them. And you're on the corner into this chamber, and this chamber is... You've never been in before. You've only heard about this chamber. And it's always been dead, basically. Every time it's been talked about, it's that it was dead, and all of a sudden it's alive. There's this ancient artifact of some kind across the way. It's all lit up, and there's these floating stone pieces around it that are kind of almost in a sort of a weird magical orbit around the orb at the center. And Piratesh's image towers over the group. She's a big, huge hologram / spirit lady. And you look around and you notice that everyone else in this room, you see Dragthar and Naya across the way. You see Marina kind of run across the way. Kelgion runs about halfway there. Violet runs up towards Kelgion. But then at some point they all stop and they just stare up at Piratesh. And they basically have looks on their faces like the lights are on, but nobody's home. They're just kind of like tongue hanging out, like drooling, like just very vacant looks in their eyes as they all stare zombie-like at Piratesh. And she says, "Come forward. I have gifts for all of you. I'm so happy you all came."
Oh, yeah. What the hell is everybody else doing here? Naya, I thought you were supposed to be on the other end of the Dominion by now.
Naya, so you can't. Naya couldn't hear you even if she wasn't in a zombie-like state because she's way over here.
Oh, gotcha. My voice just doesn't carry that far.
No, it's a big chamber.
Um,
I mean, you could shout it if
gotcha.
you want to shout it across the whole chamber.
Yeah, and with how important all of the different assignments would be to Audubon, he would start shouting and cursing. Naya, what the fuck are you doing there? You're not supposed to be in this room. You're supposed to be with the Goliaths. Why are you here?
Okay, so she definitely would hear you normally, but she doesn't turn or act like she hears you at all. And then Piratesh stops mid-speech and turns to you to look toward the back toward you, and she just says, "Audavon, I'm glad you've arrived. Come forward. I have a special gift for you.
Ooh,
It will take but a moment."
okay. I have a moment, but not a whole lot more than that. Lay it on me. What's going on here?
Come here. I will give you the gift of memory.
Okay. Whatever you say, you're the boss. And I'm just gonna start heading her direction.
Okay, there is a 5-foot gap that you have to leap, and you need an acrobatics check to leap it if you're going to go that direction.
All right. Only 5 feet.
Yep.
All right. So. Okay, I'm trying to click on the guy, but for whatever reason, I'm not getting his little.
Just left click him in the top left corner.
All right, acrobatics check. Skills, acrobatics. Okay.
Okay, you make it across pretty easily. And you hop over there, and you are now next to next to Violet, who you see is also just like looking up at Piratesh, like almost like an expression of like just almost like just super high on a drug, practically, like just nobody's home.
Violet, you've seen her before. Come on.
And you look forward and you see
Matter
someone
with
you haven't seen in a while. Kelgion is also there, and he too, big lion tongue.
Piratesh, do you have them all into some sort of trance or something? What's wrong with everybody?
And she just says, "They are experiencing their gifts. Come forward." And she gets about 10 feet away from you. She shrinks down, still very much bigger than you, but shrinks down so she's not filling up the chamber anymore.
When I get my gifts, am I going to be drooling down both sides of my mouth too?
Only for a moment. I promise it will not hurt you. I need you to experience this gift.
You need me to experience this gift.
I want you to. It will help you with tasks I have given you.
All right.
It may even help you in your fight here. This will take not more than a few moments. The memory will seem like longer, but here only moments will pass. More moments have passed in this conversation than will pass during the experience of your gift.
Okay, well, we better get this show on the road then.
All right, she reaches her hand out and she touches your head, and everything goes dark. Okay, I gotta kick you off of Autovant, so take control of him. All right, open the PC tab again. You should see a new character in there.
Okay, the PC tab. So I'm gonna close the map for now.
That's fine.
PC tab. So
on the right, there's a button that says PC.
Oh. Gotcha. Saria.
Yes, Cirilla. Although I just realized it's kind of spoilers to already know the name ahead of time, but oh well. Okay. All right, so you awaken, and you find yourself shrouded in a sort of fog, and you reach out forward, and you can only reach out about a foot in front of you before you hit this clear covering that's over the top of you. And you're in some sort of bubble or egg-shaped enclosure, and you don't know where you are or what's going on.
Okay. Um. So this egg-shaped enclosure, what's it feel like? Feel like
So you
fabric?
touch it and it feels like solid, like glass, or it's a solid surface.
Does it
And
surround me on all sides?
yes, it does. But only the forward half is translucent, whereas the back half is opaque. It's like it's if you were inside of an egg, it'd be like half the egg that you're facing outward from is translucent.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna wrap my knuckles on it and see what it feels like.
Okay, you wrap your knuckles on it and it goes boom, 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 and it just feels like a hard surface, almost like you just wrapped them on a like a wooden table. And suddenly you hear a disembodied voice in a very like very I don't know what the best word to describe it, like harmonious or a very ordered tone. And you hear this voice: translocation commencing, Solstice habitat, Class M atmosphere, structure 92% complete, ejecting pods. And then all of a sudden you hear and your whole pod shakes, and all your surroundings shift, and then it shifts a little bit more, and then it comes to a stop, and you just hear the voice: ejection system failure, damage to pod release mechanism. That's all you hear.
Gotcha. In my present mindset.
Oh, I'm losing you.
Can you hear me?
No, your real
Oh,
body.
hold on. There we go. All right, got it. I swear, if I do not have Discord like out in front, sometimes it messes with everything. But you should hear me now.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I was gonna say, does it mean anything to the character? Which
So
like,
I should be clear, you have the mind of Autovan. You don't even know that you're not Autovan yet.
gotcha. Okay. So then,
This is why it was a hard
Audubon.
question to answer when you asked who you're playing as.
I see. Okay.
So you don't
So
remember
then,
anything. So you remember Piritesh putting you to sleep, and here you are.
oh, thank you. That actually helps a lot. So then I'm going to what was the last thing that was said by the computer?
Oh, it said ejection system failure, damage to pod release mechanism.
Then I'm gonna start banging on the on the clear part.
Athletics check, please.
All right. Athletics.
Okay. So yes, that's enough, and you hit the pot, and the lid flies off, and you feel like the atmosphere like kind of depressurize or like equalize with the outer atmosphere of the pod, and the air begins to smell a lot different, fresher, cleaner, whereas the air you just came out of was more stale, recycled almost smelling, and you're able to step out of the pod, but you have to step over this little lip because your pod was like kind of a quarter away into a tube but it got jammed. And as you step around, you look around, the mist starts to clear a little bit, and you notice that your pod is a part of a larger pod of pods. It's like this big like circular rack of pods, and you see other creatures in these pods, and they don't look super familiar. They sort of look familiar to you, but not super familiar. As you look at them, you notice that they're elf-like, but the elves are not. They don't look like this. These elves are really elongated in the face and the arms, like their limbs and their faces are all like long is the best way to describe it, and they're really tall, and they have much more pointed ears, and all their features are just almost alien-like compared to the elves that you know today, which are more human-like than the elves you're seeing here. And as you kind of look to gasp, you look, and actually, you would have realized this when you were beating the pod, so we'll kind of retcon it a little bit. But you're missing a right hand, and you see a charred stump, and you realize you're experiencing pain from it all of a sudden. There's like been a discomfort this whole time that was really fucking annoying, and suddenly as you're pounding on this, you use the stump to pound alongside your left hand, and it hurts fucking awful as you pop this lid open. You're just like, oh, like it's a fresh wound, like freshly cauterized.
Oh shit! Like,
Fuck, I'm losing you again.
what's going on? Like,
I'm losing you again.
Oh, what the hell? Is
Now
that
I hear
better?
you. Yeah, now I hear you.
Get stabilized. Um, so yeah, what I was saying was, like left hand is a stump,
Right hand.
right hand.
Yep.
Oh, so then yeah, I'm gonna naturally react and start howling in pain if it's really hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Ow!
And as you yell out in
What the?
pain, you realize your voice sounds more feminine. And you realize you are in the body of a female elf or whatever these are.
Shit! What the hell? Biradesh, what the hell did you do to me?
You hear nothing. But as you as you look around this room, the whole room is shaking, by the way. And it's just like there's like an alarm sounding like and there's a red light flashing and the whole room is shaking and things are falling off of countertops and stuff in
Wait,
this little what?
I'm gonna look into like, can I make eye contact with anybody? Like, is there anybody looking at me?
The only other people you see are the other elves in the pods, and they're asleep still.
Oh, they're asleep.
Yeah, sorry, I must have left that out. But yeah, they're asleep in the pods on this rack. Your pod is the only one that seems to be open, and if you, as now that you're out of it and you're looking at it, you see that the outside of it was damaged. So presumably you came out of some kind of stasis ahead of everyone else.
Gotcha. Then yeah, I'm gonna go to another pod where there's somebody sleeping, and with my good hand, I'm gonna start banging on the window.
Okay, you bang on the window. Athletics check.
All right.
Okay. You bang on this pod, and all of a sudden, poof, the lid pops off, and the atmosphere equalizes again. And the person in the pod is oriented such that they're leaning against the back of the pod, so they are still laying there. And then, but all of a sudden, they take a deep breath, and this elf opens his eyes, or her eyes, excuse me, and you notice the name at the top of the pod says Akuna. Akuna. And she wakes up and she looks up at you. She's, what's happening? Oh my! And she steps out of the pod and she just says, what is going on?
I don't know. Tell me what's going on here. There's lights flashing and people stuck inside these little glass coffins. And where are we? What's going on here?
I'm just as lost as you, Cirilla. We were in the fields. We were fighting the humans, and then suddenly we were abducted.
Whoa, Sarsaparilla. My name's Autobahn. I'm not Sarsaparilla. What?
Did you hit your head? Come. We gotta get out of here. Let's find out what's going on.
I didn't hit my head, but my right hand got burned off somehow.
Holy... What the hell happened to you, Cirilla?
Autobahn, not Sarsaparilla.
I don't have time to argue with you or play games. We've got to figure out what's going on here. Where are we?
I don't know. That's why I woke you up. I don't know where we are or...
And she turns around and she notices the rest of them in the pods. And she, Turnos! And then she looks at the next one. Milo! And Turnos, his pod is like on the red status light indicator and a big crack across it. And she beats the top of the pod and it pops off. And you see the top says Turnos. And she reaches inside and she starts crying as she realizes that he's toast. He basically asphyxiated.
We don't have time for that.
Get Milo! And she points with tears in her eyes at the other pod that's green.
Okay, I'm going to go over to the pod marked as Milo and I'm going to start banging on the lid.
Okay, athletics check.
Oops. I just screwed that up. Strength, there we go.
Okay.
Dice are being nice to me
Again, you
tonight.
pop off the lid pretty easy. It's just like it busts off of its hinges, and suddenly this male elf like wakes up, takes a deep breath, and then sits forward. Oh, what's going on? Where are we?
I don't know. Is your name Milo?
Yes, you know me, Cirilla. Akuna.
Ugh,
And then Akuna gives him a big hug.
I'm just not even gonna try. Um, so I woke up here. There's lights. It's I don't know where I am. What's going on here?
Well, you woke up before me. Have you tried the door? And she points to the big. There's a big
What door?
door onto the room you're in. That's closed. It doesn't immediately look like a door. It's more like a big hatch.
Um,
Can we get through that big door wall thing?
I'm not sure. Maybe. How do you open that? I don't know. How do you open it? Doesn't look. Um,
I
I don't
mean,
know.
you can go up and try and pull it. It looks like it probably opens upward, like a
Okay,
like
yeah,
a
I'm gonna
garage
go
door.
over. Oh, okay. I'm gonna go over and try it.
So like you're just gonna grab it and pull up on it.
Yep.
Okay. Athletics check.
Like if it looks like something that is common, I'm gonna give it a shot.
Okay. All right. You start to lift it, and then it opens like maybe about an inch, and then all of a sudden it gets ripped off of the wall and sucked through the floor, and there's a big gaping hole in the floor, and it gets ripped through some sort of shimmering barrier and then thrown out into this black void. And now down through this hole, you see this like shimmer of something lodge, like connect back in place and then turn invisible. So you don't see the shimmer anymore. And then way like it looks like it's down really far below is this big, like broken egg shaped thing, and it's just like a big gray sphere that is like got a big cracked part on it, like a big hole in it. And then you're just passing over the edge of the hole, and you can see inside the hole a bright light that makes you cover your eyes as it blinds you. And then just as you're trying to take in what the hell you're looking at, the huge metallic arm reaches through the shimmering barrier and then reaches in through the hole and takes a swipe into the room that you're in and takes out more metal bulkhead in front of you. And now that the door is gone in front of you, you can see a hallway that stretches down pretty far.
Gotcha. I am going like. So, is the metal arm look like it's threatening me directly?
It looks angry, but it doesn't look like it can see you or anything. It's just reaching through the hole and grabbing at whatever.
Gotcha. Can I see far enough to catch too?
You're breaking up.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna change locations because I don't know why, but my connection's not worth shit right now. Oh, that seemed to have fixed it. Maybe it was just the power. All right. We'll leave it unplugged and see if that solves the issue for now. Because now I'm like old. All right. So I'm on a floor, and this door that I tried to open just got like ripped out and sucked out right in front of me.
Yeah, ripped through the floor by a big metal claw.
And the metal claw is below me, below the floor. Like there's a hole in the floor, and I can see the metal claw below me.
Yeah, there's not just a hole in the floor. There's a hole in the floor of the room that you can see through the hole in the floor. And beyond that hole is just a big, dark, empty void, except for this big gray sphere that's got a big crack in it, big hole in it.
Gotcha.
And when I say big sphere, I mean like you're flying miles and miles above this thing.
Oh, gotcha. So it's huge. It's far away.
Far away,
All
but
right,
huge. Yeah, exactly.
then none of this makes sense to me. So I'm gonna go back to Milo and um, Archivus. I forget her name. I'm gonna go back to the other
Acuna.
two.
Milo and
Acuna.
Acuna.
Okay. I'm gonna go back to Milo and Acuna, and I'm gonna go see like what they think about this. Um, or wait, or they must be right behind me though. Can they see what's going on?
Yeah, they're right behind you, like shitting themselves. And Acuna just
Gotcha.
says,
So
"What in the fuck is that?" And
I don't know, but where do we need to go?
Milo just says, "There's only one way to go," and he points down the corridor that's now revealed by the ripped-off door, but also the giant hole in the floor.
Gotcha. So to get to this corridor, do we have to jump over the big hole in the floor?
It's about 5 feet wide.
Oh, okay. Um. So then, uh, and how big is the arm? Is it huge?
Oh yeah, the arm is like one of the pincers on the claw is the size of you.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna turn to the others, and I'm gonna put a finger from my good hand over my lips, and just say, "I don't think it sees us yet." And I'm gonna give them like a wait a moment gesture, a hand behind my back, fingers out, like stop, and I'm gonna quietly back up a few steps, get a running start, and try to clear that 5 foot gap.
Okay, acrobatics check.
Oh my gosh!
Oh man. All right.
I didn't roll a one, but so
So
so only five.
you go to jump this pit, and you underestimate how much force it's going to take, and you jump over it, but you miss the other side, and you go falling down into the next room, and you fall into a compartment below you. So now you're in a room where the hole in the ceiling is what you just fell through, and there's a hole in the floor. And this room is dark. There's no lights on in this room. And so it's really hard to see anything in the actual room you're in. The only light you have is coming from the hole in the ceiling and the floor. And the hole in the floor is basically the window out into the void, into nothingness, floating above the big sphere.
Do I have dark vision?
You do.
Okay, so despite the lack of light in the room, am I able to see, like,
Yeah,
get a pretty
you're
good
able
read
to
on
see
what's going on?
across the room. So the hole is like as big as almost half the room. But across the room on the other side, opposite the hole where you fell in, um, there is a bunch of containers of some kind. Very sleek looking containers.
Gotcha. Well, man, I figure the big claw can't see me in here. I'm gonna go open a few of those containers, see what's in them.
Okay, so you're able to walk by the hole very carefully, and as you do, the claw comes back through the hole and shreds through more metal and bulkhead basically of this thing you're in, and the claw pulls itself back through with more junk, and you get into this other side, and there's all these containers. You said you open one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see what's in it.
Okay, so you're looking at one, and you can't quite figure out how to open it. So, um, roll me an, roll me a. Let's just do a investigation check. That's fine.
All right.
Nice.
I bet
All right, so you're surprisingly able to intuit that these two like little, not locks, but like notches on the side are you can stick your fingers in either hole and kind of pop it open, and the case snaps open, and inside you see a bunch of very flamboyant, colorful looking fabrics. Like there's a white shirt with stripes on it, like patterns you've never seen before in any clothing you've worn as Audubon.
you. Okay. Is gosh, I can't say how uninterested I would be in clothing in a time like this. Does any of it look remotely useful?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna like just kind of rummage through it real quick, see if I feel like uh, of use behind it, and as like if I don't find anything, I'm gonna start looking for the exit.
Okay. All right, you rummage through the rest of that case and you don't find anything else. There are other cases in here, but they all look very similar. Do you open any more?
Um, I mean, if they take 2 seconds, yeah, I'm gonna pop a couple others and see if they're all closed.
Okay, you pop one open, and it's just a bunch of brochures, and you look at them, and they look like some sort of travel brochure or something. Something very like you've never seen anything like it before, the way it's printed. But it looks like to be talking about some destination, and then there's another brochure, and there's a different destination. They're all similarly formatted, but they're definitely designed to appeal to someone once handed to them. And you said you pop open another one.
Yeah.
Okay, you pop open the third one. Let's see here. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. You pop open this third one, and you see some sort of device in there. It's very funny looking. But the more you look at it, the more you realize it looks kind of like a crossbow. Like in the way that it's got a trigger. But other than that, it doesn't look anything like a crossbow. Just kind of the shape of it.
Gotcha. I'm gonna grab that and I'm gonna make a dash for the exit of the room.
Okay, you pick it up. It's surprisingly light. It's very smooth surfaces. No sharp edges or of any kind, and it's got like this very cylindrical kind of oblong looking um, barrel on the front of it, and then it comes to a point with some sort of weird looking antenna or something, some filament on the end of it. And you said you're going back to the hole.
Is there an exit on the other side of the room away from the hole?
There is, but it's completely blocked off by crushed bulkheads. Like the next room is like non-existent. Basically, it's crumpled up. So there's no door, and you can see right in there. And there's just a bunch of smashed metal. Your only ways are
Gotcha.
up or down, basically.
Gotcha. So I'm gonna go. So I can drop down a level through the hole, or I can go up a level.
Yes.
Gotcha. Have I gotten any indication, or have I seen the others try to make a run and jump or anything like that?
No, they're still up there, just terrified, just waiting to see what happens to you.
Gotcha. Um. So yeah, I'm gonna go to the hole, and can I see what the arm is doing from where I'm at?
Are you'd have to put your head out the bottom hole. Do you do that?
Yeah,
Okay.
and very stealthily, very
Roll me a
and very
stealth check.
cautiously. I'm not gonna poke my head out any further than I have to. Let's see. Stealth.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
You poke your head outside, and you realize that you are in some sort of floating ship, and it's moving really fast. And you're looking outside, and what it looks like from your perspective is you're looking along the edges of this ship from outside of a hole, just into the outer part of it. And obviously, your character doesn't know the difference. But if it's space you're flying through, you wouldn't be able to breathe. But as you reach, you put your head out just a little further to see over the lip. Your head comes into contact with an invisible barrier, and it shimmers and kind of ripples out like a pond. And you just watch the shimmer kind of ripple, and you look all around, and the shimmer just goes out from the impact, and then shimmers all the way around the whole vessel.
Gotcha. So
So you bumped
then,
into like
from
some
what
sort
I
of energy shield.
so then what I understand is, I just put my head down, and there's an energy shield. So the only way I can go is back up.
Correct.
Okay. So let me see. Do I have any rope or anything like that with the hook? I just lost
You
mine.
might.
Set my phone aside. Um,
I should have
check.
loaded up your Beyond sheet.
There we go.
Cirilla. I think you do have rope.
Skills, actions, equipment, art.
Negative, you do not have rope.
Okay. And let's see my.
You do have a
spells.
suitcase full of clothing.
Charm person, mage armor. Okay, let me ask you this. I'm basically my character in a stranger's body. Does my character have any way of knowing what this body that I'm inhabiting is capable of in terms of magic?
Yes. So you are kind of able to intuit like what you're capable of. It's like almost like an innate knowledge as soon as you occupied this body.
Gotcha. Okay. So if that's the case, I am going to use oh crap, I just lost her. Damn it. This is I want to use mirror image, but I'm not sure if now is the best time to do so because I still don't know if I'm detected by this claw. Yeah, I guess the only thing I can do is okay. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to the clothings, and I'm gonna look for any sort of long sleeve shirts or pants.
Okay. You find a bunch of long sleeve shirts and pants, and you find enough to string together into a rope.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna take my crossbow.
Performance check on the rope fashioning, please.
Okay.
Okay.
I was not very charming to that rope.
You're able to string the rope together.
Gotcha. I'm gonna attempt to tie one end of my newly fashioned rope to a crossbow bolt, and then I'm gonna try to shoot it to the ceiling of the next level above me.
With your own crossbow.
Yeah, with my own crossbow.
Okay. Into the room that you came from.
Yeah, into the room that I tried to jump into.
Oh, that you tried to jump into.
Yeah, because my understanding is I cleared the distance, but I fell a level down, right? Or did I fall a level down onto the same side that I was?
You fell a level down, yeah, into a room that was directly below the room you were in. And then looking that same direction is that crushed doorway with the crushed room. Like there's nowhere to go from the room you fell into, except back up into the room where you fell from.
Right. Okay, so I'm imagining two hallways, like running parallel. I'm in the lower one.
We
There's one
clearly
above me.
need a map, so hold on.
Yes.
Okay, let's clear the painting here. It's a grass map, so forgive me.
That's okay.
Doesn't
Some
matter. I'm just
spaceships
drawing.
have astroturf in them.
All right. Let's do the pen. We'll do black. Okay. All right. Let's drag this map in. Click the button in the chat.
All right.
And then let's synchronize your view with mine. All right. You see?
I see the grass. I see the grid.
That's it. That's all there is right now. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to draw the room you're in. Okay, and then... Alright, and then the doorway is like... I'll do green here. It's like right here. This is the doorway. And then there is a hole that is... Let me make this brush smaller. There is a hole that's opened up right here. And kind of partly on the other side of the door too. And this door was gone. It was obliterated. Okay, and sucked through the hole. So now you can see into a long hallway that way. just like that. Okay, and then down below, you fell into a room with the same dimensions as the one you're in, but down there. And now down inside there, let me decrease this brush size again. Down inside there is another hole. And that hole is the one that leads basically outside the ship that you stuck your head in. And then so basically this little part between the two holes here is the little lips of the floor of the room that you can see down below. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
And so then if I am understanding correctly.
So your character is down there somewhere.
Okay, and my character is directly below the other two characters.
Yes, the other two are up here, exactly.
Okay. And there's no hall on the other side of the hole.
Yeah, the hallway on the floor below is completely crushed by bulkheads. Like the walls have been crushed in and stuff.
Gotcha. So I have to get back up.
So you need to get exactly. You need to get back up here, and then you need to get back over there.
Okay. So then, I'm gonna toss up my rope, and in the hopes that one of the other characters sees it. One of the other characters see it.
Okay, so you toss it up, and then you see Milo's face appear over the edge. He says, "We got the rope. Come on, get back up here."
Okay, I'm gonna make that climb.
Okay, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Dexterity saving throw. My goodness.
Yep.
This is serious shit. Let's see. Let me move the map here, and let's go to. There we go. Abilities, saves, dex. Be nice to me this time, dice. Okay.
Okay. As you're climbing this rope and they're pulling you upward, the one of the knots you tied wasn't so great, and it starts to slip free. But you notice this, and you manage to reach past the knot and grab the other part of the rope, and you're able to save yourself from falling as they pull you up on top. You are now back up on top.
Okay. Then the next thing I'm going to do is just see if I can spot where the big metal claw is again.
Okay. So you're trying to find where the metal claw went?
Just see if it's still around. Like,
okay.
It's still in imminent danger because I need to clear that.
You don't see. You hear it. So you've been hearing like as it's crushing other areas of the ship. The whole place is shaking, but you don't see it anymore. And the only time you have seen it, it's basically its little arm reached through the hole that it had already created, and like expanded the hole the last time it came through. But so far, the area you're in is intact, and whatever it's doing has moved on to elsewhere.
Then I'm going to make another attempt at that 5-foot gap.
All right, acrobatics check.
All right. Let's see. Be nice to me, dice.
Okay, this time you're able to make it across, and so do Milo and Akuna as well. And you are now in this corridor. This corridor extends all the way to a door on the other end of the hallway. Here, I'm going to clear the paintings here, and then move you over to the right so we can draw better.
How long is the weapon that I found in the level below me?
How long is it?
Yeah. Like, are we talking 6 inches or are we talking 36
Picture. It's like a. Okay, so if this is a hand, so there's fingers and a thumb. If it's holding on to a gun, let's see, it's got like a little hand. There's a trigger on it, and then it's kind of looks like almost like a Marvin Martian looking. Damn it! Hold on. Looking like ray gun type thing. So, oops.
Oh, gotcha.
So
more
it comes
pistol
out like
than
this. Yeah, like. Yeah, more like a
Because
pistol, basically.
ultimately my question was, can my character wield it with a severed hand? And that brings me to my next question: is she right-handed or left-handed,
Um, honestly, you don't know.
or ambidextrous?
But I mean, now you're left-handed, so
Well, okay. So should I roll then and see what her natural comfort is with this hand? Is it her dominant hand, or is everything going to be a struggle?
yeah, go ahead and roll. You know what? Let's let the dice determine it. Roll a let's make a dexterity check and see how
All right.
dexterous you are with your left hand.
Although I guess that we could approach it on a um, okay, so there's two ways we can go about this. We can either just roll every time she tries to do something with that hand, or we can
Well,
roll
that's what
right now
this
to
roll
tell
is
whether it's
deciding.
okay. So if I do poorly on this roll, does that mean she rolls with disadvantage every time?
Yeah, if you roll poorly on this roll, then you are right-handed, but you're fucked with the right hand. Okay, you're left. You are either ambidextrous or left-handed. Either way, you're fine. You're comfortable with the left hand.
Okay, excellent. So then, yeah, I'm gonna pull that weapon out, and I'm gonna show Hakuna and Milo. Hey, I found this down in that room I fell into.
What is it? Look, what is it? Looks like some
I'm
kind
not
of
sure. I was hoping
weapon.
you could tell me.
I can't, I know as much as you do, Cirilla.
I take it that you've never been onto one of these before.
No, have you,
No? Or
Cirilla?
how?
We're farmers. We're elves. That's all we know. We know as much as you do.
Well, a lot of help you are. So, all right, well, let's keep on going. We got to get out of here.
Okay.
And I'm going to keep on going down the hallway.
The whole place is shaking, but every once in a while, it just takes another another big blow, and then like all the lights and stuff inside flicker, and you still hear an alarm going off, and the like red lights flashing around the top perimeters of every room and hallway. And as you walk down this corridor, you notice there's a few doors on the right and left sides of these corridors, and there's one door at the very far end of the corridor.
All right. I'm going to turn to the others and I'm going to say, we need to find an exit. Let's poke our heads and, check each of these rooms out.
Now, all these doors have the same style door, like a big bulkhead garage door type thing.
Gotcha. All right. Then I'm going to just walk up to the first door, and if it's not open, I'm going to try to open it.
Okay, so your first door is a few feet up on your right, and you hunker down. You try to open it. Roll me a athletics check.
All right. Oh, bitchin'.
Okay, this one doesn't seem to be nearly as difficult. You pull it up, and it just kind of pops open, slides open, almost like it was like magnetized. And as soon as it got separated, it was like went up like blinds almost. And you pop it open, and you see inside it's another room very similar to the one you just came out of, except for it's not all crushed, and it has stasis pods in there on racks. But inside the stasis pods, you see very familiar looking forms. They're all human.
Oh, human.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna disturb one of them.
Okay.
I'm gonna open up one of their pods.
Okay. You open it up. Roll an athletics check.
All right.
Nice. You've gotten so adept at opening these up that you just like almost just slide your fingers across it, just rip the shell off of this pod. And
Gotcha.
this guy in there has got a beard, fuzzy gray beard, gray hair, and he sits up and yawns, takes in a deep breath, and he just says, "You I knew elves were responsible.
I'm gonna whip out my weapon and point it at him and say, I'm not responsible for anything. I'm very confused about what's going on. There's lots of flashing lights and noises, and I was hoping that you might be able to explain what is happening.
You brought those things on us. Those machines.
Oh, you mean that giant arm that was ripping apart the rooms below? Yeah, we bumped into him. I wasn't sure
Where?
who he was or where he came from.
What are you talking about? Where are we? And he looks around and he looks just as surprised about his surroundings as you guys were.
Okay, this doesn't appear to be going that well. Do you know where we are?
I know. You must know where we are. You brought me here. Why?
I didn't bring you here.
Then how did I get here?
I don't even,
What are you doing here? Why are you waking me?
I'm waking you because I'm very confused, and this doesn't seem like a great place to be. So I was hoping
Milo behind you just says, "Yeah, it might not have been a great idea to let the humans out."
Oh, you know where I'm from. We humans and elves get along pretty well. I'm shocked at the animosity.
What do you mean? We're from the same place. Humans literally just tried to kill us. Akuna says.
Well, what do we do with this one? Should we kill him or I don't know. Human. What's your name?
Garth.
All right, Garth. Do you want to join us, or should we just kill you here?
Roll a intimidation check. Well, it doesn't look like I have a lot of choices. Guess I'm coming with you.
Yes, please. Make yourself comfortable. We just want to find a way out, and I'm sure that you want to do the same.
You gonna let the rest of my men out? Jarlath here will help us.
Oh, that's a hard choice. Given the hostility you were experiencing, or given your hostile nature, I'm not sure that letting more of you out.
If you're telling the truth and you don't know what's going on here any more than I do, then we need all the help we can get.
Yeah.
Jarlath, Gus, okay. Tamara, Jolene, we need them all.
All right. Well, any funny business, and I'm going to see what this thing does, starting with you. So, with that said, yeah, let's go ahead and let them out.
All right. So one by one, I'm not going to make you roll for all these. Just roll one for me. Roll one athletics check.
All right. Watch it turn to be like a natty one.
That's actually the only reason I'm having you roll. It's just for opportunities for hilarity. Okay. So you're able to pop all the lids off pretty easily, and these other humans come to life. There's another one. There's a younger looking male, but he looks grumpy. We'll put it that way. He's resting bitch face basically. Looks a lot younger. He's not as gray as Garth is, although he has a little bit of gray running around the perimeter of his head. And the next one, Gus, is a more portly looking dude. And he wakes up and yawns, and he just says, "Are we there yet?" And then Tamara and Jolene. Tamara is a pretty tall human. She's got brunette hair, pale skin. She's basically like dressed like she's ready for war. In fact, they all are. Some of them have like dressed like they clearly had armor on, but it was probably taken off so they could fit in these pods. And then Jolene is also a brunette, more portly. She wakes up out of the pod, and her and Gus immediately take up the rear, and Garth and Jarlath and Tamara kind of are in front of them, and Garth just says, "All right, they don't know anything more than we know. We don't know where we are. All we know is those machines are wrecking this place."
Yep.
And they're just like, okay.
It's nice to meet you all. My name is Sarsaparilla. My companions.
Why are we working with an elf? Why are we working with them? And then Garth just says, hold on, because we don't have a choice. They were going to exterminate you all. I bargained for your lives, and we're all in the same boat anyway, if they're telling the truth, so... And then she leans forward to Garth, and between Jarlath, and she whispers something to them. And then Jarlath just laughs a little bit, and then Garth just says, all right, come on now.
All right. Well, I suppose we ought to press on. As I was saying before, my name is Sarsaparilla. These are my companions,
Sarsaparilla?
Hakuna and Milo.
Akuna.
And, yeah.
It's not Hakuna. It's just Akuna.
Look, if you're going to start getting fussy, we don't have time for this. We need to go.
You know, I'm starting to become suspicious of you, Cirilla. What happened to you? You disappeared from the fight, and then all of a sudden we wake up and find you here? Are you even who you say you are? You're the one that rallied us to fight. You're the one that said we should oppose the humans. Now I'm thinking you lured us to our deaths.
Well, let's just say I woke up feeling very, very differently here than I did down there.
And then Garth kind of looks at you and then looks back at Milo and he just says, are you telling me that this elf is responsible for my entire battalion being mutilated and grinded up into little bits?
Hey, look, I had nothing to do with those machines.
You better hope not. If we find out that his claims are accurate, we're definitely gonna tear you apart.
I'm gonna shoot him.
Oh shit! With the new gun?
Yeah, with the new gun. I'm gonna see what it does.
I will give you one chance. Are you sure?
I know what that means, but I don't think that my character has another choice.
Okay.
Because the thing is all right.
All right. Roll 5d10, please.
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. There's 5.
Okay. You vaporize all of the humans as this energy wave just leashes out and hits the first human and then expands through like a cone through the rest of them and melts away the bulkhead behind the humans. And this little dial on the side of this gun goes down 15% from 100. And all that's left is just singed oxygen molecules, like just a burning smell in the air, as you vaporize a hole through the entire ship and all the way out through the shimmering shield, and you kill all the humans.
Oh shit!
And just as you do, this basically beam of energy gets launched through the hull of this ship. And then all of a sudden, you see a big red metallic eyeball cover up the hole as it peers inside. And then it just says, objective. And 2 claws start prying the hole apart to make it bigger. As these pincer claws come in.
Well, shit, I was going to give a badass one-liner after that, but I don't think I have time. Hakuna, Milo, let's go!
Akuna! And then they come running after you.
Whatever!
Okay.
And I'm going to dash out, and I think we're just going to... I'm going to dash for the door at the end of the hallway. I don't even care what's in the left door on the left side.
Okay.
Not far enough away from that monster.
All right, so as you guys are running, Akuna, she kind of says behind you, she's like, Cirilla, I never really knew you. I can't believe you just did that. That was so badass.
They were spoken me. Like, I mean, do we want to deal with problems on the front end or get stabbed in the back later?
I mean, I probably just would have left him sleeping, but That works too.
Uh, you know, I I had the best intentions when I woke him up, but I didn't realize that things were gonna go south that fast.
All right, and just as you say that, the direction you're running, you are immediately. Well, actually, you know what? Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
All right. I fucking vaporized 10 people. Or 6 people. I'm kind of sad about
Five.
it because that portly guy, I wanted to get to know him, but whatever.
Yeah, 5 people.
Oh, oh,
Okay,
good. I looked
so
like a 1 at first, and I was panicking.
okay, but you still failed. Um,
Oh,
this pincer claw comes jutting through the bulkhead right in front of you, and you face plant on it basically. Not enough to do really any damage, but you know, make you a little dizzy, and also you fall prone on the ground. And this pincer claw is crossing the hallway, preventing the route that you're going through. But then it starts to retract, and only one pincer retracts, and the other one almost like falls off of its support, almost like it's coming apart into like 5 different pieces. And then all these pieces hit the deck plate, and they immediately turn into little mechanical spiders, and they start walking their way towards you. Roll for initiative.
all right. Let's see. Is there a is there what is the best way to do that? Oh, initiative. There it is.
You have a yeah.
Like I knew that there was a better way than just rolling a d20.
Okay. All right. So you are first to act as these little spiders come coming their way towards you.
All right. So just out of self-preservation and almost as more of a reflex, I cast mirror image.
Okay. So let's see. Mirror image. That does the 3 illusory duplicates of yourself appear in your space. Until the spell ends, the duplicates move with you and mimic your actions, shifting positions so it's impossible to track which image is real. You can use your action to dismiss the illusory duplicates. Each time a creature targets you with an attack during the spell, roll on a d20 to determine whether the attack instead targets one of your duplicates. If you have 3 duplicates, you must roll a 6 or higher to change the attack's target to a duplicate. With 2 duplicates, 8 or higher. With 1 duplicate, 11 or higher. Duplicates AC equals 10 plus your dex modifier. Okay, so 3 copies of you appear in your space, basically, and these spiders immediately start spreading out to attack them. There's 5 spiders. They're all about the size of your head.
All right.
And then, okay. So let me put Milo here. All right. So Milo tries to take a swing. He manages to pull off some support conduit from this damaged wall that you guys walked through, and he tries to swing with it. And he misses. And he gets his support conduit stuck in the deck plating, and he's not able to pull it out again. So he doesn't even have a weapon now. And then Akuna, thinking quickly, she manages to snap a flame into her hand, and she tries to cast a firebolt on one of the spiders here. And misses. And hits the deck plate. And then the spiders all go to target you. So the first one goes to attack you. Okay. So it goes to attack you, and then we need to roll another d20 to determine if it attacks a duplicate. Yep. Okay. So it attacks one of the duplicates instead of you, and it misses the duplicate as it lunges, and the duplicate dodges out of the way, kind of mimicking your actions as you're sidestepping and stuff. Okay. The next spider tries to attack you, and this one's gonna hit.
Total 5.
5. Yep. And this one, oh wow, that was a 3. So the spider actually attacks you this time. And then he gets to do... Oh, by the way, you're already damaged because you clearly just woke up from some combat. Well, no, I'm taking the hit points back. Excuse me. You've been it's basically a long rest while you're in the stasis, so you don't have any hit point damage, but it's not like your hand's going to regrow back. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. And then he is going to attack you with a bite and jump attack. Holy fuck. All right. This spider jumps on your face and bites you for 11 damage.
Shit.
And you feel it's like poison as it flows through your veins and stuff, and like your whole head is on fire, and it feels so super tight, and it's hard to see straight. And let's see, this spider is going to attack Milo because he took a swing, misses, and then this spider tries to attack Milo, misses. Holy shit. 3, 3, 1, 3. Like, they're all rolling so low. And then the last spider, that's 8 plus. What's your AC?
12.
12.
My AC is...
Okay, that misses too. Wow.
12.
All the spiders except for the one that ate your face missed. Okay.
Oh, shit.
And it's your turn again.
Alright, gosh, I am so sorry. I gotta just take a look at the kit for 1 second because...
You're good. You hear another disembodied voice overhead as the computer system chimes in and says, "Parallax system failure indicated. Evacuation order commence. Please proceed to the nearest escape pod."
Oh, shit.
And then it just starts repeating that every couple minutes.
Alright, I'm gonna throw chill touch on whichever spider's closest and easiest to hit.
Okay.
You create a ghostly skeletal hand within the space of a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature to assail it with the chill of the grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage and cannot regain hit points until the start of your next turn. They're mechanic. Does that mean that they are still vulnerable to this shit? If you hit an undead target, it has disadvantage on attack rolls until the end of your next turn.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily address these things which are probably fine with the cold of space. And since every magic spell I have deals with cold, my spell might not be worth much. So, as DM, I'll let you make the choice on that one.
It's fine. It'll work fine.
Okay, then yeah, I'll throw the.
Okay, just click the cast button.
Okay. Let's see.
Just doing this manually because it takes time to use the combat tracker properly, and since it's just a one-on-one, it's easy to do theater of the mind.
Okay, yeah, you do it.
Oh. Okay.
Oh shit.
All right, so that definitely hits. And that's 3 necrotic damage plus. Wait, is there a saving throw involved here? No.
No.
The target also has disadvantage on attack rolls. Oh, I see what you're asking. Hit the target. Can't regain hit points. Okay, so we'll apply the can't regain hit points. Cool. Okay, so basically it couldn't heal for this turn of combat if it had that ability. All right. So this you damage this spider, and a couple of its legs fall off, basically, and then the legs kind of turn into almost like little nanites, and then they disappear as they kind of run away. They just look like little fleas as they run away. But the spider keeps coming, and Is that it for your turn, by the way?
I can't tell. Actions, it says attacks per action. I get one. Sorcery points. You have 3 sorcery points that you regain when you finish a long rest. I don't know what the sorcery points done. I've never been a sorcery before, or a sorcerer
So you can
before.
you can expend them on different things. If you click it, you can. It says some stuff like flexible casting. You can create spell slots. You can convert spell slots to sorcery points.
Gotcha. Creating spell slots. You can transform sorcery points into 1 spell slot as a bonus action on your turn. Creating spell slots shows you the cost. Oh, okay. So I see how that works. You can use sorcery points or sacrifice spell slots to gain additional sorcery points. Um, okay, so basically, I can convert my sorcery points into another spell at spell 2, or spell 1 if I needed to.
Yes.
Um, okay, yeah. I'm not gonna do that because I don't think I need my another thing at level 2 yet. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna take another action.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. All right. So Milo takes another. Tries to. He basically tries to mold the metal around the spider. He's not able to do it. And you realize that he's trying to use some sort of power that's not working here. But then Akuna immediately lights a flame again, and she lops off a firebolt that hits the spider and finishes off its remaining legs that then fall and kind of run away as little nanites. And then same with its body. Once its body has no legs anymore, it kind of like falls apart into all these little nanites and then runs like through the deck plates and disappears. So there's one spider down. But then the next spider immediately tries to jump on you again. Okay, and that's going to be a hit, and then a d20 to figure out. Oh, shit.
Oh, shit.
It hits you again. All right, and that's 2d6. 7.
Oh, shit.
You are unconscious. All right, so your view fades out, and you are not able to continue anymore until you wake up, and you see that you are wake up again in the stasis pod, that like the one that you were in, except for this room you're in is intact, but you're very like fading in and out of consciousness, and you kind of look outside of this pod, and you're trying to get a bearing on your surroundings. It's starting to look familiar since you've just been around on the ship, and then you see a face press up against it, and it's Milo. And and Milo puts a bloody hand on the outside of the pod, and he says something with his mouth that you can't quite make out. And then a big pincer claw grabs him from behind and pulls him out into the corridor, just as you fall from the ship in this pod. And you are just kind of floating through empty space now, through this void, and as you're kind of looking back at the ship because you're falling the direction your back is facing, and you're watching as the ship gets smaller and smaller as you fly away, and you watch as the final shimmer of its outer shield just kind of pops, and then the rest of the ship starts to crush like a tin can as all these machines swarm over the top of this ship, just crushing it inward and just slamming their big pincers into it. It was clearly infested with these machines, and you start to follow. Your little egg pod is slowly turning, and you kind of turn, and the ship kind of fades out of view to your left, and you're just staring out into this beautiful void of just tons of stars, and you see this red dust kind of scattered across this like night sky. It's just like a sight you've never seen before in your life as Audubon. Like, you've never seen stars, you've never seen space, you've never seen anything like this. It's just fantastic. And then you have the egg pod slowly begins to turn, and you see the edge of the big gray sphere. And you are looking at this sphere, and it looks like, as finally it comes into view, it looks like you are about to impact the side of the sphere, but that impact never comes, as it's much farther away than it appears. And you just keep staring at it as it gets closer and closer, and then slowly the side of the sphere turns into view, to where there's this big crack in the side of it, big huge crack. And just as the crack crosses your view, you are completely shrouded in a blinding light, and you have to cover your eyes. And you do so as your pod enters this through this crack into this big giant dome, and you hear like a sound like going by as your pod is like almost like it's scraping against something, and your pod is starting to look like a big fireball as you're flying through the sky, and you have to keep your eyes closed again. And it takes for what seems like forever, but finally you're able to look out and see a vast array of wildernesses and all sorts of environments: snowy, sunny, bright, deserty. And then there's one ahead that catches your eye, and it's more green and lush. Lots of lakes and rivers. And you can see this place getting closer and closer and closer until poof, you slam into this lake. And but you are surprised, as you're expecting this impact to be really rough, if not fatal, and you slam into the lake, but you don't experience any inertia whatsoever. It was like the most gentle ride, other than some light shaking as you were going through the sky. And you splash down into this water, and then the pod just says, and then the lid on it pops off, and you are able to swim to the surface as you take a big deep breath of the freshest air that you have breathed in a long time. And then you look back up just in time to see the final bits of this crack in the dome overhead close up, as and then the last bits of that dark void that was out through the crack disappear from existence. And now all you see is the sky dome and the huge sun overhead, directly overhead. And then you are called back to your real life as Piratesh pulls her hand away from your head. And she just says, "Thank you, Audubon. I needed that."
Forgive me for being blunt, but what the hell just happened?
I gave you a memory of your ancestor.
Ancestor?
Yes, your ancestor. Cyrilla, you are half-elf. You are a descendant from elves. You are descended from ancient elves, the Eladrin, to be exact.
Damn.
And you look around and you see everyone else waking up from their experiences. And that's it. Then time for next week. I had to streamline it because I'm getting tired as hell, and we had to start super late. So I apologize if it felt short.
No, that was perfect. That was. I liked the transition from the combat loss to the escape pod. That was excellent.
Yeah. Then plus you died, which I wasn't expecting.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Dude, the dice did not go your way. They only hit you. They only actually managed to hit you twice, and both times they saw through your mirror images. You rolled a 1 and a 3. Both times it would have switched it to a mirror image if it was a 6 or higher.
Oh, I know. The statistical likelihood of that was tiny. That was like the first thing I did was, I don't want to die. Let's get a defense out there.
Yeah.
And wow.
The only other thing I would have suggested was probably mage armor to raise your AC by 3 points.
But what my interpretation of that when I read it is, I can cast it on others, but I can't cast it on myself.
No, you can cast it on yourself. Sorry, I should have said that, I guess. I didn't think about it.
Yeah, I was contemplating casting that on Milo. Gosh, the only way I'm able to remember his name is that it sounds Greek, like it's the classic Greek name. Um, but
Any thoughts on what's going on here?
um, any thoughts or guesses?
I
Because my
dropped a
thought
few. I
is
dropped a few hints in some of the computer dialogue. I don't know if you picked up on them.
the only computer dialogue that I was picking up on was abandoned ship. So,
Here, I'll just
I
read it.
mean,
I'll read it back to you. I'll be nice.
okay.
Let's see. Story. Autobahn flashback.
Yeah, you touch a willing creature who isn't wearing armor, and a
You count.
protective magical
You count as a
force.
willing creature.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Okay. It said when you first got aboard. Translocation commencing. Solstice habitat. Class M atmosphere. Structure 92% complete. Ejecting pods. That was probably your.
Okay. Yeah. See, that helps, and the oh, I'm trying to phrase it. The definite impression that I get is that Solstice was the constructed habitat. Although I kind of guessed that from the start with the dome and everything like that. But at the time that I first heard it, like it honestly didn't mean anything to me because I was, so lost in trying to get my bearings. I hope, and I had to make a choice too. I hope my role playing was okay.
You're good.
I thought I thought I can either sound like Autobahn the whole time as he would hear himself, or I can sound like Cirilla as
You
everybody
seemed like
hears
you
her.
transitioned. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, yeah. There are a few times where I thought, should I try Cirilla? And I purposely like prevented him from remembering her name or attaching to her identity because everything would have been transitioning too fast for him to really make that bond. Or even like, wait a second, I'm someone else. Like that would be such a confusing and horrifying experience. What have you ever seen Pandorum?
No.
Watch it, dude. You have to watch it.
Okay.
It's you love Dennis Quaid already,
I
and
do.
he does a great job. I don't know how familiar you are with Ben Foster, but Ben Foster is one of those actors who is criminally underrated, and it's
Hold
his
on. Before we
only.
continue, I'm just going to say thanks to everybody for watching the stream. I'm going to stop it now. This was episode 13.4 of Solstice. We'll be doing 13.5 and point 6 tomorrow with Rainbow and Mirma. And we'll catch you all for a full episode next Saturday for episode 14. Thanks, guys.